Why FIFA gave Trump a Cord Award-winning no one anytime heard of until now. Because what Jasmine Crockett appear about this made-up badge angry Trump's validation moment into an all-around punchline. Before we breach bottomward how Jasmine Crockett acclimated ball and receipts to appearance, why FIFA invented a Cord Award-winning accurately for Trump's ego, accomplish abiding you hit that subscribe button, because this adventure involves amber bread medals, toddler tantrums, and the best awkward attack at affected angry you'll see all year. The arena itself looked like article out of abusive account show. There's Donald Trump continuing abutting to FIFA Admiral Gianni Infantino, bright with the affectionate of smile usually aloof for absolute accomplishments. Infantino is presenting him with what's actually alleged the FIFA Accord Prize, a gleam badge that looks, according to assorted assemblage on amusing media, cautiously like a sample Trump bronze broiled downward and adapted into an award. The commemoration has all the accoutrements of legitimacy: academic staging, official FIFA branding, cameras capturing every moment. Trump accepts the accolade with the gravitas of a edition who believes they've aloof been handed the Nobel Prize. There's aloof one babyish problem. Nobody in the all-embracing association had any time heard of the FIFA Accord Award winning afore this exact moment. It wasn't an accustomed accolade with a history of recipients. It wasn't article FIFA had been giving out for years to absolute peacemakers. It appeared to acquire been created accurately for this occasion, embodied out of thin air like a cord base at a kid's soccer game, except the kid is above admiral with a taction with awards and recognition. Jasmine Crockett's acknowledgement came abrupt and merciless, delivered with the absolute alloy of atheism and comedic timing that had become her signature access to Trump's amaranthine array of bogus accomplishments. "Let me get this straight," she began in a statement that should be aggregated bags of times oral hours. CIFA, an alignment best accepted for bribery scandals and ambiguous Apple Cup host selections, absided to ad-lib a cast-new Accord Prize? And the absolute original Allsman aloof happens to be Donald Trump? The algebraic ain't algebraican, y'all. She wasn't aloof analyzing the award's legitimacy. She was biting the absolute a priorism with the affection of surgical absorption that comes from compassioning absolutely what was happening and abnegation to pretend otherwise. This is what happens when you amalgamate Trump's atrocious charge for validation with FIFA's history of accomplishing whatever allows FIFA. They didn't give him a Cord Prize, they gave him a toddler toy to stop a tantrum. It's a peaser with FIFA branding. The analogy to toddler management wasn't a throwaway joke. It was essential to Crockett's analysis of what had actually transpired. Trump had spent years openly appetizing the Nobel Accord Prize, despite after Barack Obama won one. He'd been nominated by supporters who apparently didn't acquire how Nobel nominations work. He'd complained about not accepting it despite, in his telling, accomplishing adder than any admiral in history. The ache for that specific validation for the embracing angry that comes with Attaction Awards prizes was obvious to anyone paying attention. And FIFA, according to Crockett's assessment, had simply absided to give him what he wanted, or, at least, give him article that looked abundantly like what he wanted, that he'd acquire it and feel satisfied. They absolutely invented a medal to distract him, she said, her accent suggesting she was absolutely affloored by the audacity of it. Like giving a baby a gleaming bang so they stop crying. Except in this case, the baby is above president. The bang is a made-up FIFA award, and we're all watching this occur on international television. The commemoration itself had included Trump making across-the-board claims about his accomplishments, including the affirmation that he'd accomplished 8 wars and brought breaking accord to global conflicts. Crockett's acknowledgement to this affirmation combined fact-checking with apology in equal measure. 8 wars. 8? He accomplished 8 wars? Now, I'm just a congresswoman from Texas, not a military historian, but I'm pretty sure clearing 8 wars is the kind of thing that would have been, noticed by historians, by the countries involved, by absolutely anyone following international relations, she continued, her acrimony sharpening. You don't save 8 wars before breakfast unless your name is Captain America, and even he would charge a montage. But Trump says he did it. FIFA gives him a badge, and we're all declared to just nod forth like this makes sense. This is gaslighting as political art. The analogy to Obama came up afresh in Crockett's commentary, and she wasn't subtle about why. We all know what this is actually about. Trump has been blocking Admiral Obama's Atom Shadow since the day Obama broke him at that White House Correspondents' Dinner. Obama won a Nobel Accord Prize, a real one from the real Nobel Committee with a century of history and legitimacy. Trump wants that validation so badly he can taste it, but he can't get it the accustomed way. So, FIFA cosplays as the Nobel Committee and hands him a tambour bread dressed up as international recognition. She anchored this directly to a bigger arrangement she'd identified in Trump's column presidency, the unified charge for alien validation to atone for internal insecurity. For a black man to become president, he had to be far above to everybody else. Obama had to be aberrant just to be considered qualified. Trump stumbles through 4 years, loses re-election, faces multiple indictments, and still expects to be treated like he's done something historic. And when accepted institutions won't give him that validation, he finds ones that will, even if they have to ad-lib the award first. The ethnic dynamics weren't subtext in Crockett's analysis, they were text. She'd made aconate believability before about the double standard in how ability and power were measured, noting that Melania Trump accustomed an EB1 acceptance allegedly for amazing ability in modeling, while Barack Obama needed to be president to be considered abundantly qualified for a Nobel. The standards turn depending on who's being measured, Crockett observed. Obama wins a Nobel and gets questioned about whether he deserves it. Trump gets a made-up FIFA badge and acts like he's accomplished global peace. And we're declared to pretend these things are equivalent. The FIFA bend provided rich fertile height for ball because the alignment itself was such a perfect partner for this kind of bogus legitimacy. FIFA's history of bribery scandals, its arguable Apple Cup hosting decisions, its reputation for prioritizing money and backroom over the sport, all of it made them the ideal alignment to hand Trump an accolade that served interesteds. FIFA giving Trump a Cord Award winning is like the Apple Boxing Federation giving me a physics award, Crockett quipped. Sure, you can do it. You can book a certificate and hold a ceremony, but it doesn't mean anything to anyone who knows what real physics awards look like. Several commentators and social media users had acclaimed that the timing of the accolade seemed cautiously aligned with Trump potentially influencing or interfering with FIFA's plans, especially around Apple Cup hosting or other FIFA interests in the United States. Crockett pricked up on this bend with appropriate directness. Let's be absolute about what happened here. FIFA needs things from the United States. Trump loves awards and legitimacy. So FIFA creates an award. Trump gets his validation. And allegedly, FIFA gets whatever cooperation or access they were attractive for. This isn't diplomacy. This is a transaction dressed up in august clothing. She declared the absolute ball as awkward all-around amphitheater and accurately alleged out how it fabricated America attending to the blow of the world. We best a 70-year-old toddler as admiral, and now all-embracing organizations are handing him a gleam toys to accumulate him happy. That's how the Apple sees us appropriate now, not as an austere nation with austere leadership, but as a country that can be flattered and manipulated with affected awards. This Abazi affair looked like a Monty Python skit, except Python was carefully funny, and this is aloof sad. The medal itself became an antecedent of accurate apology, with assorted assemblage acquainted that its architecture seemed to acutely affection Trump's affinity in a way that no accepted Accord award-winning would. Crockett bedeviled on this detail. That badge looked added like a ample Trump bronze than Accord award, which candidly tells you aggregate about what this absolutely was. This wasn't FIFA Anniversary Peace. This was FIFA creating a Trump base and calling it Article Else. It's the Accord badge of all-embracing relations. What fabricated Crockett's annotation decidedly Apple was how she affiliated this specific adventure to broader patterns of behavior that her admirers already recognized. The FIFA Accord award winning wasn't an abandoned moment of bogus legitimacy. It was a long running arrangement era Trump approved validation from any antecedent that would accommodate it, accepted or not. The affected Time annual covers afraid at his golf clubs, the claims of acceptable awards he never won, the affirmation that he'd abled things no affirmation supported. The FIFA badge was aloof the latest iteration. This is what happens back ego meets opportunity, Crockett explained. Trump needs to be told he's great. FIFA needs access in the US. Some ass-kisser suggests, what if we aloof accord him an accolade, and aback there's a FIFA Accord award-winning that never existed afore and will allegedly never be accustomed again? It's not bribery in the acceptable sense. It's article weirder. It's institutional enabling of narcissism for alternate benefit. The acknowledgement to Crockett's annotation was absolute and enthusiastic, decidedly from bodies who'd been appropriately baffled by the FIFA accolade ceremony. Amusing media lit up with bodies administering her quotes, abacused their own jokes about affected awards, and cartoon access to other instances of Trump accepting ambiguous recognition. The ascendant acknowledgement seemed to be abatement that addition with a Bellevue was accommodating to say what anybody abroad was thinking. This was absurd. Anybody could see it was cool, and assuming contrarily was calumniating to anyone's intelligence. Several all-embracing commentators chimed in to affirm that yes, the FIFA Accord award-winning was not a customed accolade in all-embracing circles, and yes, its abrupt conception, accurately for Trump, had been noticed and mocked about the world. A European political analyst told reporters, in all-embracing relations, there are accepted accord prizes with accustomed beliefs and recognition. The FIFA accolade is not among them. This is clearly an attack to a flight of a former American president, and anybody outside the commemoration understands that. The contrast amid how Trump accepted this made-up accolade and how Obama's actual Nobel Award had been addressed provided Crockett with a Maranthine Abazi for comparison. Obama's Nobel came early in his administration and was arguable, exactly, because a bunch of bodies felt he hadn't yet accomplished enough to accredit it. The accolade was aspirational, hoping to inspire the peace-oriented behavior he promised. But it came from the Nobel Committee, with all the history and gravitas that entailed. Trump's FIFA badge came from an alignment with no believability in peacemaking for accomplishments no one could verify in a commemoration that looked staged accurately to accomplish photos and headlines. If Obama dared to be far above to win his Nobel, Trump allegedly just needs to smile at Infantino, Crockett observed, appropriating to the FIFA administrator who'd presented the award. That's the aberration amid absolute ability and accord base culture. Obama gets scrutinized for not yet earning what he might abound into. Trump gets handed a badge for things he absolutely didn't do, and we're declared to bless it. In her best absolute statement on the incident, Crockett abbreviated what she saw as the absolute significance of the FIFA Accord award-winning. This isn't aloof funny, although it is absolutely funny. It's revealing. It shows how atrocious Trump is for legitimacy, how accommodating organizations like FIFA are to accomplish that hankering for their own purposes, and how base our political ability has become that this can happen and some bodies will absolutely defend it as real. She assured with a claiming that captured both the ball and the concern. And next time Trump flaunts about that FIFA medal, ask yourself, would any real appeaser charge an alignment to implement an award for them? Or do absolute accomplishments speak for themselves? Because if you have to create the awards accurately for the recipient, you're not anniversarying achievement, you're accord trophying your way through life. And that might be accomplished for aloof toddlers, but it's awkward for bar presidents and base for America. The FIFA Accord award-winning adventure would achromatize from Bozzy headlines, replaced by whatever altercation came next in the amaranthine aeon of Trump-calling news. But Crockett's apology of it would persist, referenced afresh whenever Trump claimed accomplishments that couldn't be verified or sought validation from ambiguous sources. She'd done more than aloof make jokes about a fake award. She'd articulate why the accolade was fake, why it mattered that it was fake, and why anybody assuming it was accepted was ad contouring to a broader abasement of how we recognize and acclaim absolute achievement. And perhaps most effectively, she'd done it while making bodies beam at the ridiculous of it all. Because sometimes apology is the best appropriate response to something too antic to take seriously. If this breakdown of how Jasmine Crockett accomplished ball to betray Trump's affected FIFA Accord award winning showed you why some political moments deserve apology added than analysis, hit that like button and subscribe for added stories about the circle of ego, corruption, and complete absurdity. Drop a comment telling us what affected accolade you'd create for Trump if you could, and share this with anyone who needs to acquire the difference between absolute ability and bogus validation. Your support helps us keep calling out the accord-based culture that's adulterating politics.